I kept hitting plateaus in my fitness, brand, and business growth. No matter what strategy I tried, something always held me back. Then I realized what was happening. I was creating an invisible ceiling for my success. And although it was invisible, it felt totally real. Do you know that most self-improvement fails because we're working on the wrong level? While everyone focuses on actions and skills, the real magic happens when you rewire your core beliefs. Your self-image acts like a source code that determines everything you'll achieve. Think about it. How can you build a six-figure business if deep down you don't believe you're a six-figure girl? Think about it. How can you build a seven-figure business if deep down you don't believe you're a seven-figure girl? When you consciously reshape how you see yourself, your body, brand, and business naturally follow suit. The process requires honest self-reflection and daily commitment, but the results are spicy. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can rewire your self-image to step into your next level body, brand, and business. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, my name is Kay Marie. I am a NLP certified nutrition and business coach, and I help busy women lose weight with ease and step into their next level. Let's get into this, okay? I'm so excited. I am excited that y'all are finally liking the identity shifting content and liking this content where I'm really talking about stepping into your next level, because I feel like I've been on this struggle bus trying to get people to listen. And it wasn't until I became the magnetic version of myself that other people started saying, well, Kelly Marie, how do I become more magnetic? And I was like, oh, it makes sense. Like I became a mirror reflection for the things that I want to attract. And, or if you believe in vibrations, if you're a girly that believes in vibrations, I began vibrating at a higher energy. I'm a God girl. So whether it's vibrations or science or whatever, I became a believer that God has created me to be this magnetic woman, and he has, and that he gave me a purpose, and he did, and I got to make the decision. I get to make the decision every single day to step into that woman who he is calling me to be, and to choose faith over logic and faith over the evidence that is in my face every single day. And here we are, okay? Growing slowly but surely on YouTube, keeping the faith, continuing to show up, and giving this content that just reminds busy women, hey, by the way, God's got you on assignment. Hey, by the way, you can transform your body and be your most confident self. Hey, by the way, you can pour back into your own cup. Today, I'm sharing for you how you can start to rewire your self-image and step into that next level. I have a three-step process. Well, not three-step process. I have 3 exercises that are going to help you. So you don't necessarily have to do these things in order, but you definitely want to integrate these into your weekly practices. If you can get in at least one of these a day, obviously that is going to accelerate the process. I, in the month of March, was able to sit on a panel with my mom. Yeah, because I'm a coach, but my mom's also a coach. And so in March, she hosted a conference and I was able to sit on a team building panel. And I don't really quite remember how the story came about, but someone had asked me about growth on social media and team building, like how the team plays into the aspects of things. How do you grow your team and, have people that are buying into your vision, but also are aligned with your greater purpose? Because there's not really a lot of talk around team growth. And I posted on this about social media. I'll link it somewhere in this video about, what it looks like to build your vision beyond yourself and lean into asking for help, which, by the way, this is not what this video is about at all. Not at all. But, we kind of got into the response and I was like, you want to be found doing the work. Like if you look at all of the times in the Bible where God went out and said, this is your assignment, this is your assignment, and chose someone to come to outside of their comfort zone, chose someone, called them out of the comfort zone is what we call it, but chose someone to step into a higher level, a higher purpose, or step out of what they were doing and into something new that was bigger, greater, that also, by the way, on the back end gives you a bigger, greater blessing and more abundance because you are following what God is telling you, and you are operating in faith. But when he did that, at many different points when he did that, he would go out and find people that were already doing the work, like be found doing the work. And that's kind of where that kind of phrase came up for. And now we say it all the time. Hey, are you being found doing the work? Are you being found doing the work? You know? And so today, the exercises that I'm giving you are things that you can do so that when God says it's your turn, you are being found doing the work. Like you're already working on yourself. Iron sharpens iron. So the first exercise I want to give you today is called future self visualization with embodiment. Okay. I love the word embodied. I feel like sometime this year, I'm going to have to come out with a course called Embodied because it's literally you stepping out of your current skin and into this new like zhuzh, like energy of who it is you're really supposed to be. And so here is the exercise. I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself. You can do it right now if you want to. I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself 6 to 12 months from now. The version of you who has already lost the weight, the version of you that has already elevated her personal brand, whether you're doing it as a business and you have a personal brand that you're growing on social media, or whether you're doing it in the professional career space, because your personal brand still matters. How people see you, what people know you for in the workspace still matters. You are running a next level business. You are building a next level brand. See her clearly. How does she move? How does she dress? How does she speak? What does she eat? What do her workouts look like? Make the decisions. I want you to visualize and decide what are all of those things that she does. Then I want you to ask yourself this, and you can write this down in a journal. You can have this open conversation with yourself in the car. You can have this conversation with God. How would this version of me show up today? Knowing everything that you have on your schedule, everything that you have on your plate, how would this version of me show up today? And then once you have that clarity, that visualization, that clarity of how you should be, we call it be, do, have, you're clear on who you're becoming. You've identified what it is that you need to do because that's the aligned action. I want you to start taking one aligned action from this state every single day, not from your current state, but one aligned action from that state of the woman that you just visualized every single day, even if it's small. Okay. What this is going to do is it's going to build what we call neural pathways. They reinforce your new identity. This is not just woo woo, fluff, whatever. I told you guys in the beginning, I'm NLP certified. That stands for neuro linguistic programming. This is science. This is science and faith working together. Okay, you can look this up in the Bible and see that many, many times before people, God's people, were successful, they had to do the thing over and over and over again. Literally, people were walking around in the desert over and over and over again until they built the neural pathway. Literally, people were walking around buildings until they fell. Okay, it is the building of neural pathways is something that has been going on for a very long time. Now we have the science to back it. Okay, your brain, every time something happens, there's these synapses that are going on in your brain is what it's called if you want to go look it up. And they're happening over and over and over again. And your brain is being trained to believe and think a certain way. And sometimes we have neural pathways that we didn't intentionally create. And so we're walking around with these beliefs based off of these synapses that have been happening in our brain due to the type of environment that we live in. But when we give ourselves the opportunity to get outside of that environment and we open up the door for us to believe that something else can be true and that things can be different, we give ourselves the ability to create new neural pathways. That's why sometimes you talk to people and you're like, how do they even think that? Like, why do they even think that way? Because they've opened up their brain to think that way. Okay. And so you can do the same thing. So that first exercise is called future self visualization with embodiment. And that's how I say it, with embodiment. Number 2, exercise number 2 is self-image script writing. Some people call this scripting. Write a short script, 1 to 2 paragraphs, describing your new self-image in the present tense. Okay, this is like faith in action, because most of the time when we think about faith, we're thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have this, no, that is you still opening the door for, it's possible for me to succeed and it's possible for me to fail. Real faith, like true God faith, is assuming, hey, God has already told me he's going to do this thing. I'm going to move and act as if it's already done. Because what do they say? It's already done. It's been already done. You ever heard old people in the church say that? Oh, it's already done. It's already happened in the spiritual realm. It's coming in the physical realm. That's what this is. Scripting is you bringing your thoughts and your beliefs into alignment with what's already been done in the spiritual realm. Now, listen, I don't know what God has told you. You have to figure that out between you and him. But obviously there are things that you can do here in the earthly realm or the natural realm that can help you line up with what's happening in the spiritual realm. For a lot of us, it's weight loss. Because why are you treating yourself as if you don't deserve anything? Why are you putting junk food into your body? Why are you slowing yourself down physically? What happens when you eat all the things that you know you're not supposed to eat that don't support your healthiest version of your body? You have brain fog, fatigue, bloating. Like, you cannot possibly show up as the woman God is calling you to be, and you are making the decision to put your body through all of these physical ailments. You can't. That's why I talk about weight loss and nutrition, because I truly believe that's where it starts. For example, you want to maybe write something like, I am lean, vibrant, magnetic leader. Okay, this is who I am. I fuel my body with intention. I show up in my brand with confidence and clarity. I embody ease, power, and presence in every room I walk into. Write yourself 1 to 2 paragraphs. You want to use ChatGPT? Go ahead and do it, okay? Then I want you to record yourself reading it, because now we have a record. Now we have documentation that this is your new belief system and that you are fully stepping into this identity. The shift is happening. God is calling you. You're coming out. You're stepping out. You're going to be found doing the work. Now I want you to listen to the script every morning and every evening for 30 days. This is a challenge for you. You've recorded it. All you have to do is hit play. You can do it on your phone. You don't have to put on makeup. You don't have to do any of that. Okay. You can even do it in the audio notes section if you've got an iPhone. Record yourself every morning, every evening for 30 days. Those 1 to 2 paragraphs, listen to it. This primes your subconscious to align actions and decisions with the self-image, because it's the first thing you listen to in the morning when you wake up, of course, after you do your Bible study. And it's the last thing you listen to at night after you do your Bible study, if you do your Bible study at night, and or after you pray, if you pray at night, which you should. But this is priming your subconscious, and it's just bringing things into alignment. And even more so, just on the very, very surface level, it's reminding you of who you are. Like, girl, remind yourself of who you are. They say it in these songs. I don't know if you guys have heard the Cardi B song that's like going viral right now, that she is talking about Offset, and she's like, I gotta remind these, not gonna say the word, I gotta remind these people who I am. No, remind yourself who you are, girl, because that's really what the song is about. Is you reminding yourself of who I am. I'm that girl. Okay, I'm on assignment. I have things to do. I have to show up a certain way because I'm a leader and I'm being called out of the comfort zone and I'm ready. Bring it on. Like, that is the energy that you want to be giving yourself every day. And the third exercise that I want to give you is identity-based habit stacking. And I love this. I love this. I create a ton of content about this on Instagram all of the time. I will link in the description box some examples. I've posted on Instagram some lists of habit stacking, but 3 to 5 habits you want to identify for your next level self. Okay, we already have we've scripted, right? 1 to 2 paragraphs of who she is. We've also thought about in the visualization, what are some things that she does? We've identified some aligned actions. Now it's time to start really exercising that muscle and building those habits and skills into our daily routine. Okay, so 3 to 5 habits your next level self would embody. So daily movement, hydration, skincare, speaking on video weekly, whether you're posting it or not, saying no to misaligned opportunities. Some of us need to work on our boundary setting, okay? You may need to say to yourself, my goal for this week, one of my habits for this week is I'm going to say no 3 times. Find 3 things to say no to. I bet you people are asking you for stuff a million times already, because if you're a people pleaser and you say yes to everything, you end up being the person that everybody comes to ask. So there's lots of opportunity for you to say no. If boundaries is your thing, that's your habit that you need to work on, saying no. Then I want you to choose one habit to intentionally stack into an existing routine this week. So for example, after I make my coffee, I drink a full glass of water before I drink my coffee or before I drink my energy drink. I became a running girly. I'm in my running girl era right now. I'm preparing for my second half marathon. So excited about that. But I want you to have a stack, and that's how I was able to integrate something that I felt I would never be good at into my daily routine. After I drop my kids off from school, I go running. I literally, when they get dressed for school, I get dressed in my running clothes. There's no excuses. When I lay out their clothes the night before, I lay out my running clothes the night before. I get dressed when they get dressed. And before I even come back home, I don't even come back home. I go to the track and I run. And then I transitioned into, okay, I can go home and I can run from home. I transitioned into that. But it was a habit stack that allowed me to build this habit and literally go from 0 to 6 races like that in 6 months. And by the way, drop 10% body fat. Hello, because habit stacking works. So you can also do, like, before my first Zoom call of the day, I want to take 3 deep breaths to regulate my nervous system, or I'm going to do a breath work exercise. By the way, in the comments, let me know if you guys want me to drop some breath work exercises here on YouTube. I will 100% do it. Or some faith-based meditations. I will 100% do it. The key is to build these micro habits as proof of your new identity. So not just randomly choosing, because this is the mistake people make. They're like, oh, that's a great habit. That's a great habit. That's a great habit. There's a lot of great habits. There's a lot of things that you could be doing right now, but not should be doing right now, that are great for your life, you know? But I want you to pick 3 to 5 habits that are directly tied to you stepping into your next level identity, because this is a season of strategy. This is personal development, but guess what? This is a season of being strategic because you're busy and you don't have time to be doing things that do not contribute directly to the assignment that you're on right now. The fastest way to rewire your self-image is to stack evidence that you're already being this person. That's why we're stacking this. So these are 3 exercises that I use to rewire my self-image. I highly recommend that you do them. If you're ready to go deeper into this work, let me give you something. If you are ready to go deeper into this work so you can align your body, brand, and business with your next level identity, I'd love to support you. I have space for a few private clients. You can click the link in my bio and go ahead and book yourself an introductory call. I do a free 20-minute introductory session. And or if you're like, you know what, I think I want to ease into this thing. I'm a little bit scared. I'm not sure. One-on-one feels really high accountability, because it is really high accountability. Okay, because if you tell me you're going to do something, I'm asking you next week, did you do it? Where you at? If it feels a little too high accountability for you, what you can do is start with my membership. All right, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.